Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashley, and this is my presentation on severe allergies in early childhood. So I kind of just want to start by talking out about a family. Just imagine you're feeding your newborn child, and they cry every time you feed them, and you eventually find out they have an allergy to dairy. You know that this will forever change their life and forever impact them, but sometimes people don't realize how big of a deal allergies actually are. So just want to be telling you about the diagnosis and how we can just support children with allergies and childcare professions in this presentation. So there's a couple domains that are directly affected by allergies in early childhood, and one of them is school. So over 60% of food allergy reactions take place in preschool and childcare facilities, and that's just a huge amount. So it's a super important thing to know about if you're going to be teachers or like working in a school or even just sending kids to school, that they'll be aware that other kids have these allergies. And home and family life, it's totally affected by allergies, and so this can change the dynamic of what the family eats or what the family like pets are allowed to have in the house. That is directly affected by the allergies, and it can also directly affect a child's physical development. For example, if a child has a dairy allergy, it can deprive them of calcium and like needed nutrients. So a lot of times, vitamins are a good idea just to supplement nutrients that kids aren't getting, which is a direct effect from allergies. So it also indirectly affects a couple of things in kids' lives. So emotional and relational development are one of them. So for example, like if a child has a severe food allergy at school and they have to sit at their own table, like this can other kids can think they're weird, they can make fun of them, like a lot of times they have to eat alone, and this can be really hard on a kid relationally and emotionally to connect with people and to get them to understand what they're going through. So there are a couple signs that present red flags for parents and caregivers for like identifying allergies. So each child has different things that can trigger their allergic reactions. Common triggers are they can be from the outdoors, which things like tree pollen, plant pollen, insect bites, stings can all be allergic triggers. Indoors, and that can be pet fur, dust, mold, tons of things can trigger allergies indoors. And then also irritants such as cigarette smoke, perfume, car exhaust, and foods. So there's like 8 common food big categories that can cause reactions, and that's milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, and soybeans. So anyone can be allergic to any food, but those are like the big 8, the most common. And so another sign is just eczema. That can be a sign that a child has allergies. Eczema is like skin, it's like a skin disease, it's like blotchy skin, but it can be treated. So that's just another sign that a child can have allergies. And so yeah, in many cases, a specific cause isn't even identified for allergies. Like, sometimes they don't know what's causing it, so that can be really hard for children too. So, allergies that result in anaphylaxis reactions are different than being intolerant to a food. So, allergies can be life threatening, and intolerances are never life threatening. So, an intolerance, for an example, would be like lactose intolerance, is pretty common heard of. So, that's just someone lacks enzymes to digest the enzymes that have similar, like to lactose. Sorry, someone lacks enzymes to digest the lactose enzymes. And this can show similar symptoms as allergies, like cramps, bloating, nausea, can all be symptoms of lactose, but that's different than allergies because lactose is not life-threatening. So, yeah. But common symptoms of allergic reactions can be broken down into 6 major categories. So I'm just going to give you like a few examples from each category because there's so many. So for the mouth, a couple examples are like an itchy mouth, sneezing, a dry cough, like trouble swallowing can all be. Emotional signs of a reaction can be like a change in alertness or just a mood change, or like a lot of times if a child has a food allergy, they'll know, like they'll feel something different when they eat the foods that they're allergic to. They'll just a change in their mood. For their skin, you can get hives, which are it's actually the picture shown on the screen, so that's just like blotchy, like kind of bumps all over your skin. Eczema, which is again like just a rash on your skin. And then like redness of skin, your skin could turn blue in really severe cases. On your chest, a drop in blood pressure, a loss of consciousness, or chest pain can all be signs of an allergic reaction. And then also just nausea, or vomiting, and then diarrhea or stomach pain can all be symptoms of an allergic reaction. So, for when will parents and caregivers find resources and support to complete a screening? Well, they can start with pediatricians and get tested there. And pediatricians can refer you to an allergist if your case is severe enough, or if they want to just get more testing done. That's a great resource. And then an epinephrine injection. So, um, that's for an anaphylaxis reaction. So, an anaphylaxis reaction is a severe life-threatening reaction that requires immediate response and medical attention. And so, an epinephrine injection is a drug that can be used after a reaction occurs. So it's like a needle, so you can pull it out. There's like a little cap you pull off, and then you put it into the child's leg, like the top of their thigh, to stop the reaction and slow it until you can get to a hospital. And so this can be done in an EpiPen or an Auvi-Q. Is just a different type of epinephrine injection. So, how can professionals support a family at home and talk to the child in childcare? Well, this is super important for a lot of different reasons, because one of the biggest things that we can do in childcare professions is just to talk to parents, because parents just need to be heard. Like, every child's going to be different, and every child's going to need different things to accommodate them. And so it's just super important to talk to the parents and figure out what's going to be best for the child. And after you talk to the parents, it's just as important to accommodate, not just to talk, but to do and to follow through and accommodate the child with what they're going to need. So this can include providing resources like foods and meals and snacks for the child if the child has food allergies. So that's super important, just to make sure, going back to the relational and emotional development, just making sure that they're taken care of and they have everything they need to succeed in school. And then like providing a safe place for children to eat foods that they're allergic to. So that can be as simple as wiping off desks and making sure that there's no food that they're allergic to in that same area that the child's in. So, yeah, I mean, just keep in mind that some kids can't have contact with food because there's something known as cross-contamination, where if a child is allergic to peanuts and peanuts have touched the Cheetos that they're eating, then those Cheetos can then give the child an allergic reaction. And so it's super important to just be aware of everything that the food that they're eating has touched, and everyone who has touched it. So yeah, just even as simple as giving them a safe place to eat is super important. And then another thing is just to acknowledge that this is a real issue and a reality for these kids, because unlike some of these other issues that people are presenting on, allergies, you can't see it until there's a reaction. Like, it's not something that you can see all the time. So we have to trust that these parents know what's best for their kids and accommodate them and acknowledge that that's a reality for these kids, and it's not a burden on us to accommodate them, because we need to give the child everything they need to succeed. And so also working with parents to create an emergency care plan for their child is just super important. So an emergency care plan would be made with parents and caregivers. And so on an emergency care plan, you would list the child's allergies. You would list normal symptoms that they've had in the past for a mild or a severe allergic reaction. Again, I mean, children can get any symptoms, but most children get the same common symptoms, or get the same symptoms like for every reaction that they have. And then to have the child's medications listed out on the emergency care plan, like if they carry an EpiPen or if they carry Benadryl with them, because sometimes Benadryl can do the trick if the reaction's not severe. And instructions to use an Auvi-Q or an EpiPen are good to put on the emergency care plan as well. And then also sometimes a child will carry around like a trainer, EpiPen or Auvi-Q. And so just like learning how to use that is super important too, to work with the family. So those are all super important things to do. And yeah, so the story that I told at the beginning about the little girl with allergies, so that was actually my sister. And so this is something that is very real for me and is very real for my family. We deal with it all the time. And yeah, it's just so important that teachers and childcare providers or anyone who works with these kids understands what's going on, because it is a scary reality. But if childcare professionals are informed and know what to do, then it's definitely, like, negative causes are definitely preventable with this. So yeah, I didn't really get super in depth in this, but there's tons of resources out there that can provide support for the families. So you can find information online through KFA or FARE, and both of those are just like food allergy websites that provide support to people. And also you can find like Facebook groups if you're a parent with child with allergies, or allergists who have knowledge of Facebook groups, just can get you hooked up to support groups with other people that understand what you're going through if you have a child with allergies. So yeah, that's all that I wanted to talk about today. So thank you guys for listening.